Clint and Gina. These two right here, man. Well, you know, we get back from Gatlinburg, and Clint is out with his main ginger, Hank, riding around, going to the coffee shop, getting a pup cup. I've never heard of this before. What the hell is a pup cup?
You never heard of a pup cup?
Hell, why would I?
Because you don't like dogs. I forget, so you wouldn't know. Pup cup is just a little cup with some whipped cream that you give the dog. They hook the dog up at Starbucks while the adults have their frappuccinos, lattes, whatever. So now the dog feels they're included. So
yes, because the dog was in their feelings. The dog was shacked because it wasn't getting anything from the drive-through. Come on, stop it.
The dog was happy to be with Clint. Looked like a happy dog.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. Did you notice that this whole episode, Gina didn't have a ring on?
I didn't notice that. I didn't even look. But why would she? What irritated me about this episode with her was the fact that she was like, well, maybe this can make our marriage work. Maybe this can give us a spark. Stop lying. We don't believe you. Stop it.
It's not, but I noticed that Gina didn't have a ring on the whole time. And I kept looking every time they put her on camera, all the way to the end of the show. She didn't have a ring on. So that tells me where her mind's at right there. But I made the note, Clint and Hank forever. I hope that they say no at decision day, but Hank winds up going to be with Clint instead of Gina. Gina has to find, a new dog.
Somebody else to terrorize?
Yeah, someone else to terrorize.
What did you think of the conversation with Clint and his other buddy, McKinley? Because, knowing what we know what, because for some reason they've been showing us this thing all season long. So we know this, and we know it's about to get awkward. So didn't the convo feel weird when they're sitting there, and then McKinley's off to the side like, well, I think there was attraction. I was attracted to Gina. I mean, I think, they could have just swapped wives. Maybe it'll work that way for them, right?
So I laughed at that whole deal because, to your point, knowing what we know, I'm like, Mac asked if any moves have been made. He's trying to check boxes like, have you hit it yet? Oh, you haven't? Okay, I have a chance. I'm going to slide in her DMs. So I think Matt was just like snooping to see what he could find out to determine if it was okay to slide the DMs. Are they really going to be together? Are they just kind of faking the whole deal? Mac, and then when he said that he wished he and Gina were matched, I was like, why?
He finds her attractive.
But he said they're both successful entrepreneurs. I'm like, you can't say you're successful entrepreneurs when you live in someone's extra basement room.
That's how he
and you
gets
have
his
none
money.
of your stuff on there. Is that what it is? He's frugal.
Exactly. That's all.
Okay. So he's frugal. So I think Mac was really trying to feel out to see if he has a shot.
Yes.
At going after that. And Clint telling Mac to get back out there. And he just doesn't realize Mac is trying with Gina.
Yeah, it really was. Now, here's the thing. Allison says wife swap happened in Married at First Sight UK. They should try it here. And you know what? I don't put it past them, and they're probably going to do that next time. We watched how it happened on Love is Blind, where they brought other matches back in that didn't make a proposal when they brought what's that guy's name? Josh back for Marshall and your girl Jackie. So in that space, next season that may be the twist they throw in there too. So we'll see. Supergirl says Mac is a snake. He's slithering and trying to bite into Gina. Yes, he really is.
That's what it sounds like.
And
definitely what it sounds like.
Precious Me says the weed man and the hairdresser sounds like a match.
So, speaking of hairdressing, so then Gina gets Clint to get a haircut. So apparently Clint's been cutting his own hair for 8 years. Not knocking that. I did the same for a while. And so he gets the hairdresser, and I was wondering, like, okay, is this going to be something that sparks something with Gina about him? Or is she going to find him more attractive now that he has the Bradley Cooper cut? And in my mind, I'm like, and that's the moment I noticed she didn't have a ring on. And then I kept looking. I was just like, yeah, no, she's done.
Yeah. Well, we knew that. And let's be honest, what she did, she got him a haircut, like you said, the Jesus to Bradley Cooper, as what's the guy's name, Brandon, who did it, to cut his hair, said. I'm just glad that Gina cleaned up for Dominique, so that when he goes in for the kiss, she's like, oh, I like your new cut,
Because if Gina really liked him, she'd have cut his hair herself.
Yeah, should have made it sexy.
Right.
Well, if she could. You saw
sexy
her.
to her.
Whatever. You saw her pole dancing. She doesn't have an ounce of sexy. Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper came to visit. Dr. Pepper asked them to watch a couple of movies before they went to Gatlinburg, and then they did absolutely none of the homework. And did you notice that when Dr. Pepper's like, well, if I'd said do this for $3,000, who stepped up to the plate and said, you know what, you're actually right. Because Gina was sitting there like, yeah.
It could have been $1 million. Gina would been like, I'm all set. Thank you. I'm all good. So I'm glad that Dr. Pepper, you like Dr. Pastor. I'm glad that Dr. Pepper called that out, because they didn't try any of the work. And then when Clint was saying his little BS thing, like, yeah, we really want to try this and we're doing it. Y'all don't want to be close together. There's nothing that you both want to do to spark the romance and to spark the intimacy in your relationship. Just call it quits. And then Pastor Cal comes in and asks, so you're saying that what y'all both want out of life is just not compatible.
Right.
And I couldn't wait to hear the responses from that. And then that's when it took a little bit of a dive.
It definitely took a dive. Because, here's the thing about it. Right before that, they asked them, like, wait a minute. In the beginning at the wedding, y'all were kissing and touching and all this other stuff. And they're like, oh, we're just in a minute. It was just in a moment. And basically, Pastor Cal was like, y'all just wasting our time, huh? And then that's when Gina went, well, thank you for that cue. Let me tell you why. And then she just jumps off the cliff.
Pulls out her notes. Well, Clint even admitted that they don't have that physical desire to be romantic. Mm-hmm. But then Gina starts to go down the path of she doesn't like the fun energy. Well, this is just the craziest thing I've heard. She doesn't like the fun energy that Clint has, that you're funny, everybody likes you, you're like the life of a party, but to me, it's kind of an embarrassment. I was like, what kind of crap is that? So you don't want a guy that's super social and can work a room. So that bothered her about him. And she said she never felt like a wife. Now, she brings up the cooking. And that was the thing that just shocked me.
I'm shocked that Dr. Pepper didn't call her out on that. You see, and this is why when people keep saying stuff like this, like Mona says, Married at First Sight needs new experts. Kendra says they need new experts. Tired of them. This is exactly why. Because remember, the last time Dr. Pepper was there, they talked about the cooking. Mm-hmm. Gina, now Dr. Pepper gave some advice last time, right? Gina today is like, well, he cooks, but I think he's just cooking for him. I just happen to be there. I never feel like he's actually cooking for me. Woman, are you eating?
Thank you.
Is he making food for just one? Because he can. He can make food for one, but no, he's cooking for you too. Well, I don't feel like he asked me what I want. Didn't Dr. Pepper tell her, I know you help him, but what about you make a meal for him? I don't think she's made a glass of water for him.
No, not at all. And the fact that he's doing that effort, hey, babe, you worked all day. Let me cook. Mm-hmm. I got this. When you come home, I'll have dinner ready. And yeah, maybe he's cooking what he likes because maybe he knows you can't cook. Mm-hmm. Or your cooking's terrible. Mm-hmm. And that's a positive. I've dated people in my life who couldn't cook. And I'm like, you better be really good at washing the dish because I'm not doing both. But maybe that could be the arrangement. But to me, that's him showing he cares because he's putting in the work to cook for you.
Right.
But I've never in my life, I would be so pissed if I put in the effort to cook for somebody and they're like, yeah, but are you doing that for me or do you just like to cook?
You know what?
I'm like, you know what? You don't eat that. Give me that plate.
See, that's the petty in me too, because you're right. You're absolutely right. Hey, what's for breakfast? I don't know. What I'm having is one egg.
Yeah, I'm having the New York strip, asparagus, and potatoes I made last night that you complained about. That's what I'm eating for breakfast. What are you doing? and I don't have cereal, so you might as well get you some coffee and some juice.
Yeah.
And watch me eat.
Because that was, oh my God. That was so bad. I really am mad that they didn't call her out on that. Because the fact that she did it, it's crazy. But she really goes in on him. Clint feels attacked, and rightfully so. And yeah.
Well, and then the experts ask her, what could he have done to show you that he was being intentional about you? Oh, I really don't know. See, that's bullshit.
Because, like Dallas Boss is talking about, love languages are different. Yes, they are. And that's Clint's love language is doing stuff. He likes to do stuff for people, right? And that's why for him doing that, you're cooking, it's something he enjoys doing. And cool with that, right? If that's not what she likes, but she's not telling him anything that she really likes anyway. Oh, he's got to go find it? No. You're not going to just find out what somebody's love language is. It's called a conversation.
Right. And just tell somebody that, hey, I appreciate that you're cooking, but here's what I need to feel loved by you. What do you need to feel loved by me? Now you're having some dialogue. Now you're being vulnerable. Now you're being open. To me, that's what all this stuff is about. But Clint is just doing the things that he thinks should be okay. And to me, I would never be upset if somebody cooked for me and I'm just like, ugh, you're cooking for me again? I bet you'd cook for anybody. If your mom was here, would you cook for her too? Of course you would. Yeah, I just don't like her. Don't like Gina at all.
Apparently, because we don't get a chance to watch the after party, especially today, because it's an hour long today. Mona says on the after party last week, Keisha gave Clint some of her seasonings. Hopefully, he's put them to use. Hopefully, they're not still.
I did.
That was
I
a
did
big
see
complaint
that
last week.
I did see that, but I agree because I'm just like, man, that's a lot of carrots in a potato salad. I don't know what you're doing. But I mentioned it last week. Need some Tony Chachere's. You got to put something on that meat. But the fact that he's putting in the effort to cook, I would never be upset if somebody did that for me. But for Gina's attitude, I mean, it's just shitty.
So 2 things here. 1, Aka's engineer says Gina wanted the spotlight. She's miffed that Clint has it instead of her. And that could be the reason why she kind of went off. Because he felt blindsided, right? Mm-hmm. And that really just kind of so she kind of knocked him off the pedestal a little bit with that. And maybe, trying to elevate herself in that same space. But Audrey has a great question. Why not ask Gina what she likes? But he didn't know it was a problem, though.
But we don't know if he did or didn't.
Right.
We don't know if he said, hey, I'm thinking about making salmon or some roasted chicken. What do you prefer? What do you feel like eating tonight? And she might be like, I don't know. And then he just makes a decision. Great, we're having salmon.
Yeah.
I'll have it hooked up. Dinner will be ready at 7.
Look, Nikki B has a great point. Clint's cooking and taking care of the dog frees her up to talk about her salon, so she should be happy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think anybody should be happy the fact that if you had a long day, regardless of what you do for a living, you have a long day and you don't have to come home to cook, and somebody's cooking for you, even if they're cooking their favorite thing that they like, that you also like, because she did say that she likes his cooking. Yeah. It'd be one thing if she didn't like his cooking, but she does. Be thankful.
Yes, Dina, you're absolutely right. Gina likes hair dye and extensions.
And
hilarious, man.
Let me get the Botox.
Sophia, that's funny. Gina likes the salon, period. She barely likes Hank. Yeah, Hank. That's why Hank loves Clinton so much, man. Those two, again, it's just like, that dog is like, do I have to go back?
100%. And I agree with Sanan's fan. I've never met a woman who complains about a man cooking. Get the fuck out of here. That's so true, because in my dating life, I've dated people and like, I'm gonna make dinner. Like, I've never had someone cook for me. I'm like, what? Like, right. You were married, or you're how old? No one's ever cooked for you? I'm like, yeah, I don't mind doing it. But if a guy cooks for you, he really likes you. And I think Clint has been trying this whole time. Even though he knows she's not interested, she's not feeling him, I feel like Clint has put his best foot forward every chance that he had. And so for her to blindside him with the experts and to be on the show all day today with no ring on, that just, to me, is a slap in the face.
Hey, Mrs. Smith, I feel you. She said, that's how my husband won me over. He enjoys cooking, and I enjoy his creations. she's ungrateful. She being Gina, ungrateful. Yeah, I mean, because look, if it's what you like to do, those are the things. Like, I like to cook, so I'm in the kitchen all the time. You know, so.
Yeah. I like to cook, but it's because I'm a control freak, so I like to make what I like. And it's going to be seasonal that I like. So that's how I get away with my girlfriend. I'm like, hey, babe, I'm going to cook tonight. Don't worry about anything. I got it. Because I'm going to cook what I want, but also I know she's going to like it because my cooking is pretty good. But times that she cooks for me.
And the chef is modest,
it's
too.
Amazing.
You know, there's that part. Yeah.
The times it cooks for me, it's amazing. The fact that I can work and I don't have to figure out what I'm going to eat. Just the fact that people do acts of service, even if acts of service is not your love language, if people do things for you, appreciate it. Mm-hmm. Because the moment you don't, they can easily stop. And then you got to complain because they're not doing X, Y, Z.
You know, so shout out to all the fellas who stand up and say it, because Nubian says, when a man cooks, that is so sexy to me. Precious Me says, a man that cooks is the greatest thing on the planet. So fellas who are cooking, know that. The women love it. And if you're not cooking, then you might want to go ahead and start cooking.
You might. If the cat's not fed at home, they go digging in the garbage.